Hey, it's Lisa Robbin Young here, and today's convo is about something called deliberate practice. And I've been reading this book. I picked it up at the library called The Great Work of Your Life by Stephen Cope. And it's been on my mind a lot lately because my BHAG for this year is to record 300 songs. And people hear that and they go, wow, 300 songs, that's a lot. And I suppose it is. That really wasn't on my mind when that number came to me. Because I guess in part, I figured I had the hours to give, but also because I wanted to do something that was inspiring, something that inspired me. But also, I guess the biggest reason I wanted to do 300 songs is because I wanted to get the practice in. The last album I recorded was about 8 years ago, and I feel like I'm making up for lost time by recording 300 songs, and that's the equivalent of like 24 albums, so it's like 24 years worth of work for a professional performer. Kind of all crammed into 1 year. But I'm trying to be deliberate about it. I'm not trying to cram anything. My math says that it'll take me 1 to 2 hours per song to get them rehearsed and to get them recorded. So this is me really steeping myself in the thing that I'm most passionate about, which is performing and singing in particular. And I've had conversations with you guys before about the 30 hours. If you could put 30 hours into your great work and know it was going to come out awesome, what would you invest it in? And for me, that's singing, that's performing. I get so electrified when I'm in front of a microphone and I get to perform for other people or I get to record here in the studio. And so I really wanted to do something that was going to inspire me and move me further along. And I didn't want to just go through the motions of singing a bunch of songs and rehearsing. I wanted to take things up to the next level of recording quality performance. And the only way I could see to do that in my current situation was to say, I'm going to record 300 songs this year. It forces me to practice with the mindset of it's going to be a performance versus just going through the motions. And I would question you today. I would offer you this question of how many times do you sit down to do that thing that you're passionate about and kind of go through the motions on it? Even though you enjoy it, you're going through the motions. You're doing it the same way you've always done it because that's comfortable and familiar, instead of challenging yourself to put a little bit of something, a little bit more of you, perhaps, into this thing that you're so passionate about. I believe there's an equation for powerful success, and that is to take the thing that you are most passionate about and couple it with deliberate practice over time so that you become really good at the thing that you do, in search of excellence, so to speak. Excellence doesn't just fall from the sky upon you, and we've had this convo before about wanting to be excellent at something. There's work that's got to be done to make that happen, but it's not the work of going through the motions. It's the work of deliberate practice. Which element am I going to tweak today? Which piece am I going to work on and improve today so that the overall package over time is better? I saw a sign a few days ago that said, do something today that your future self will thank you for. And that really struck me. And then I had a friend of mine post a picture on the internet of his gym, and it was packed with people. And he said, I hate New Year's resolutions. I hate the new year. Because he knows for the next 3 to 5 weeks, his gym's going to be packed and he's going to have to fight for space on the equipment. But after that, all those New Year's resolutions people are just going to drop off the face of the earth, and he and all the regulars are going to have the gym back. Why? Because they're there day in and day out. They're passionate about this thing that they're doing there, and they're putting in the deliberate practice to improve their bodies. What are you doing day in and day out, deliberately practicing to improve whatever it is that your craft is about? And I don't care what career path you've chosen. I don't care what life you've called for yourself. If you have something you want to be excellent in, truly excellent in, you need to put in the deliberate practice. So what are you doing this year to create the space to hold yourself accountable to that higher standard? In whatever path you're pursuing, whichever of the 5 key areas that you want to do this in, faith, family, fitness, fortune, freedom, I don't care. Success has to be defined by you. Truly, your definition is the only definition that matters. And we talk about this in the Get Your Year in Gear program. But, Stephen Cope talks about it in his book. The idea is, whatever it is, the calling of your heart, do it. And do it with fervor and commitment. Because You can do a lot of things and get really good at them by practicing them. You know, you go to work every day in your job and you deliberately practice that thing that you're doing. You're not going to go in and just go through the motions for very long before you're fired. You've got to go in and deliberately practice doing your job. The same is true for anything that you're passionate about. Whatever your great work is, you got to put the hours in and be deliberate. It's not just 10,000 hours of going through the motions. So I would challenge you today to take some time and really look at this year and decide, what are you going to do this year that your future self is going to thank you for?